Hi, it's Splinterverse. Welcome to another episode of D&D New Releases, the show where we talk about new third-party products for Dungeons & Dragons from both Dungeon Masters Guild and DriveThruRPG. We cover 20 new titles from each of the sites. This is not a review show as we have not looked at any of these products in full, so please venture into them at your own discretion. We do include alphabetical links to all the titles shown in this episode in our video description, so if you want to help the channel, please use those links to purchase these titles. You can also support the channel by subscribing and purchasing one of our books, including Van Richten's Librum of Lineages, shown on screen right now. It too is linked in the video description. This week's episode focuses on titles released from May 28th to June 3rd, 2021. And we've got something for everyone this week. We've got maps, we've got fold-ups, we've got items, encounters, adventures, classes, subclasses. So stay tuned all the way to the end to check out all the good stuff that was released this past week. All right, first title is Van Richten's Treasures, Magic Items for Ravenloft. It's from R.P. Davis, $4.95, 17 pages. It says it has over 100 items ready and waiting for your new Ravenloft campaign inspired by Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft. The Domains of Dread have their own magic, some as powerful, some subtle indeed, just like lands encompassed by the mists. Welcome to another magic item book from R.P. Davis and Kabooter Games. This book is dedicated to the Domains of Dread. Some items were dreamed up as we read the recent book, imagining how different domains would affect magic items. For those, we include brief bits of lore concerning the item and its domain. For others, we took an array of items from the 4th edition books, Adventures Vault and Adventures Vault 2, and updated them to 5th edition rules. So that's cool. You get some additional stuff from 4th edition brought up into the 5th edition here. It's 17 pages. Let's look at some of the previews. All right, so, well, that's nice. Nice art there, kind of a Strahd looking character. Yeah, so some good illustrations in here. Looks like Daniel Commercy and Fat Goblin Games provided some of the art here. Let's look at the full-size preview. Okay, so you can see the whole book in here, which is nice. Bolts of Transit. It says use this lightning-shaped crossbow bolt to move closer to your target. That's cool. Maybe a cool trick for somebody using a crossbow. I like the art on this. Rod of the Hag. Little beholder-looking thing on the top there. Alright, if you're looking for some magic items, especially if you just started a Ravenloft campaign, this might be a good option for you. Alright, next we have Grod's Grimoire of the Groteseque. It's from Charles Cohen. It's 101 pages for $4.95. It says it's all about change. Between these covers you'll find uncountable ways to bend races, classes, and even the game itself to your will. From the gritty limits of Vtern 6th to the world-shaking might of mythic powers, from alternate ability scores to no abilities altogether. Grod's Grimoire has everything you need to make the game your own. So 7 ways to change the rules, 5 new subsystems, a whole chapter for low magic games, new versions of the Ranger, Sorcerer, and Warlock, and more. Okay, so sounds like it has a lot of stuff in the 100 pages for $4.95. So let's look at some of the previews. So, okay, nice layout here. Looks very Wizards-esque. Awesome. Alright, let's look at the next one. Yeah, this definitely looks like one I'd want to get. Three levels of bonus. Okay. So yeah, you get to see 4 of the 101 pages, but, you know, they've got a whole page here on without ability scores. So, it seems fun. They've got the new classes here, the Warlord, low magic subclasses, mythic powers, So quite a lot packed into this to this book for only $4.95. So I would definitely be interested in checking out the whole thing. All right. Next we have, let's see here, Pacts Powers 2, New Warlock Boons, Patrons, and More. It's by Pedro Filippo. It's $9.95, 17 pages. It's the second volume. It's got 8 new patrons, 3 new pack boons, 26 more Eldritch invocations, 25 patron requests to inspire your adventuring warlock, and 3 new dark gifts, which are not exclusive to the warlocks. There's a lot packed into these pages here. So here's some of the patrons. The kingdom, you are chosen one to be the hand of the nation, be either one trained since as a child, or the kingdom's heir to the crown. You are the one who will carry the kingdom's hidden burdens. Okay, and then we'll just jump down here. The ancient tree, you found an ancient and powerful tree whose memories goes centuries back. Its conscious connected to you, and now you travel with the accumulated knowledge that is being shared with you. It might desire nothing only than to see the world through your eyes, or it might want revenge against those who desecrated its soil in the past. Interesting. So it says, explore all the options that this volume brings to you, either completely new or ones that expand on existing options from the Player's Handbook, Xanathar's Guide, and Tasha's Cauldron. So, interesting. All right, let's look at some of the interiors here. So good, clean layout here. Easy to read, lots of art. I've squeezed a lot into this 17 pages. Let's see what's over here. Okay, so we get 5 pages in this preview, which is a good percentage when you have that many pages. So we got packs in here. In the kingdom, expanded spells. Dark powers. Nice. Okay. So a lot of subclasses for your warlock. And some other stuff, the Eldritch Invocations, which you're not seeing in this preview, but that sounds interesting too. Alright, check it out on Dungeon Masters Guild. Next we have Ritual Spellbook Compendium, 30 spellbooks to read and learn from. And it's from Starshine for $5, 9 pages. And it's got a full preview, so we're going to get to see the full book here. Ritual spellcasting is a fantastic tool in the magic user's arsenal. Learn and cast spells while saving precious resources that may be needed later. However, learning these spells can prove difficult. As to master magic, one must hunt down written copies of the spell and scrawl them into their own spellbook. But first, where does one find these invaluable spells? Exactly, where do you find them? The Ritual Spellbook Compendium is a collection of 30 setting-neutral spellbooks that DMs can populate their world with. Each book contains a description of the physical tome and some information about the book's history and contents. That's cool. And you know, with Candlekeep Mysteries, you might be looking for more books, right? Especially if your players are poking through the whole library. These books can be put in stores, given out as loot, or act as quest items for the groups that contain one or more members who use ritual casting. So then they have a sample one here. It says, gives the name, rare, cost, and then this book is handmade. It has a rough leather cover and even rougher paper. Even the ink used to write the text seems cheap, with it varying in color constantly. Irax was a moderately famous if reclusive sorcerer known for keeping very few notes about their work. Thankfully, this book of ritual spells survived. Legend says this is because Irax threw the book out of a window in the hope of scaring off a bird that was annoying him. Okay, Forbiddance, Commune, Contact Other Plane. Okay, so these are the spells you get in this book. So that's cool. Let's check out some of the interiors. That's cool. I like the border. It makes it look like an old book, kind of with a broken binding maybe. Lots of pictures of little books in here. Okay, let's look at the full size. And again, you're going to see all 9 pages in this full size. Yeah, that's a good border. Good idea. You can see all the books. Each one tells you what spells are in it. Fun. So yeah, if you're looking for spell books, very good option for you. Next we have College of Celebrity from Sebastian Yu and Walter Sobrellis. It's $2.95, 6 pages. This is a new subclass from Lucky Dice Publishing. The College of Celebrity is for fame-chasing bards who overpower their enemies with their status and force of personality. All content is available in a screen reader compatible tagged PDF. That's nice. So if you need to use a screen reader, it's set up for you. That's really cool. What can you do with this supplement? Choose a new subclass with 5 original features, including Smile, which compels others to succeed, Famous Face, where you can avoid or draw a crowd, Stage Presence of Mind, use your charisma rather than your constitution to concentrate on spells, Stay Mad Haters, convert others' jealousy into additional psychic damage, The Show Must Go On, get up to finish a performance no matter what. You can enrich your character's backstory with a living legend background, add some drama to your campaign with Miralex Famastri, who is the founder of the College of Celebrity, and never be at a loss for a vicious mockery insult again with the family-friendly Bardic insult generator with 8,000 unique possible insults. Alright, so, and then there's an online version that you can use for free. That's cool, so check out this page even to bookmark that. Okay, so let's look at the interiors. We've got nice border down here. I like the little stained glass touch at the bottom. Yeah, good clean layout here, easy to read. Alright, so you got the features, and then you've got, so this is the subclass here, which is nice. And then you've got the background. I love backgrounds. I think backgrounds are so much fun. Even just reading through a background, and with backgrounds you can take like just a piece out of a background. You don't even have to use the full background, right? You can just take like a personality trait or an ideal and use it for an NPC, or use it for a monster, or use it for just an additional part of your character. So I always love reading through backgrounds and just considering them as source material for other things. And then they've got this NPC with a full biography, which is nice, and then all of her stats here, and then here's her insult generator. So just reading the first one, a boring, badly dressed blighter. So that would be a fun insult. It says, you are a boring, badly dressed blighter, and then you are a brainless, baby-killing cockroach. Okay, so you can have some fun with that. I definitely would have fun reading through that and just seeing what some of the combinations are. So yeah, if you're looking for a new subclass for your bard, check this out. Next we have Zsesh, Defector Prince, a guide to the crime boss found in Sinners of Chult 1. It's by Yuan T. It's $5 for 26 pages. Deep hidden underneath a mountain, the crime lord Zsesh plots and schemes to reclaim his throne. Will you work with him against a greater evil, or take him down? This massive expansion pack is all about Zsesh. It includes the following: a 26-page PDF including a flowchart for major encounters, details on the 11 major encounters in the flowchart, taking players from levels 2 to 9, details on a whole new biome in Chult with 20 random encounters, information on 4 new locations, including Zsesh's Lair, Batiri Village, and another ruined city, a revised stat block for the UNT Pureblood, stat blocks for important NPCs, information on Zsesh's temple, 3 printable handouts, 3-page map, modified map of Chult, and they're saying with the amount of stuff in here, it's ridiculous that it's only $5. So let's look inside. Cool. I love these flowcharts when they do that. Some people are visual learners, some are audio learners, hands-on learners. There's all kinds of learners, and having something for the different learning styles is nice. So, and it's a good break for the reader to be able to look at the flowchart. So I always appreciate that. Alright, here's the full preview, 4 of the 26 pages. So nice Wizards style layout. Here's that flowchart again. And then there's text that you can read aloud to the players if you're running the module as a DM, so that's always good. Alright, fun stuff. Now the Binder, new demonic magic wielding class with 4 archetype options for 5th edition. It's from J. Gabriel Ronkanen. $2.99. Pay what you want, so I recommend paying something. 28 pages. Says the binder, not content with begging patrons or gods for scraps of knowledge and power, or spending decades locked in research in their tower, binders take what they want from demons and fiends by force. Armed with infernal knowledge and demonic artifacts that they craft, they seek out forbidden secrets about their sex past to gain more power for themselves, or to prevent it from falling into the hands of wizards with whom they have ages-old bitter history. The core theme of the binder class is binding demons to their own bodies or objects called demonic artifacts, so they gain access to demonic magics and abilities. Binder archetypes are called sects, and they operate on almost cult-like behavior of secrecy and dark rituals. Different sects go about gaining demonic powers in different ways. Some choose to plunder the memories of demons they've bound for spells, while others seek knowledge and experience about melee combat, and others choose to transform their own bodies to gain demonic features. And then it's got 4 subclasses or archetypes, and it contains 6 types of demonic artifacts, 9 new spells, 89 demonic powers, and rules for demonic possession, which is a condition, demon host a condition, demonic rebirth, which is a demon ability, and essence form a demon ability. There is a content warning on here, so you might read through that. Make sure you're not going to be upset with the content. I do appreciate when people create a class and add the archetypes, because every class uses archetypes, so if you don't have that, it's kind of frustrating, and it is, I think, also frustrating when somebody creates a class and only has 1. So I appreciate that they've got 4 here. That's really cool. And I'm reading through this, I'm thinking about, in my book Librum of Lineages, we have this lineage called the Book Bearer, and I think it would work really well with this class to have a Book Bearer binder, because you could actually kind of combine a lot of the features together for like a fun new take on it. So might be an option. But I love the cover too. Really cool cover artwork. It looks like they don't have an artist credited here, but I do like that art. Right, let's look at some of the interiors. Yeah, see, that's really cool. He's got like this demonic book. Nice wizard style layout like that. Lots of stuff. Okay, let's look at the full page. Okay, the full preview hasn't been found, so if you're watching here, J. Gabriel, you might want to fix that. But it looked good in the quick preview. Definitely, I would be interested in reading the whole thing. All right, next we have telescoping cases, monster skins from Tabletop Unglued, and you can get it for free. We like that. 71 pages for free, guys. It says, barmaid, don't pay any attention to him. He's hardly ever been off that bar stool. And then the retired adventurer says, it's true, I tell you, I can prove it. On our 3rd quest, we ventured into the frozen north and defeated a terrifying yeti. I made its skin into a case. See? Touch it, and you can almost feel the howling wind. I still carry it to remember the rest of my party. They didn't make it back, and so our 4th quest was never started. I've been keeping her letter all these years, knowing that she is still out there. So it says player characters are the heroes of every RPG story, but stories are more engaging when they have a few colorful and relatable NPCs. Theme props help bring NPCs to life for your players through sight and touch. Would you send your party into a blizzard based on a tall tale alone? Would a powerful sorcerer keep their map in a case made from a dragon skin? Would a solitary druid protect her spell scroll by rolling it up in a case cut from an awakened tree? So sounds like these little fold-up things are to give you flavor, give the NPCs some props, even your players some props that they can use, because maybe it starts in the NPC's hands and ends up in the player's hands. You could give this to your players if you're a DM here. So it says tube-shaped cases collapse to 7 inches long or extended just over 11 inches, holds rolled paper, pens, dice, tokens, etc. So you can even have it on hand as like a backup dice holder if somebody doesn't have one, or they keep losing their dice or something. Sturdy multi-layer construction is about as strong as a soda can when closed. Dozens of artwork options to choose from. Use the included art or edit the source files to make your own. Nice, okay. So here's some of the pictures, and you can see kind of the size in relation to the dice. So yeah, they look pretty cool, all different colors. So these could be all different skins from monsters, or you know, whatever you imagine. Oh, and they've even got like an animated GIF down here kind of showing you how it works. So you see the kind of scroll pops out of it. And I mean, this is free, guys. So you glue it. Alright, so I mean, there's no reason not to get this. It's not even a pay what you want. I mean, it's completely free. So, you know, definitely check it out. I need to come back and get this later. Alright. Next we have 10 Towns Expanded. It's already a copper bestseller, even though it just came out this past week. It says locations and encounters for the 10 towns with plot hooks to the Icewind Dale Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign. It's by Patrick Rush and Joe Razzo. $7.95. It's 48 pages. Bring 10 towns to life with this supplement. It contains interesting locations, 76 engaging locations in and around the towns, ranging from completely new places to expanded descriptions of existing ones. Quests and connections, 13 mini-quests and countless connections between 10 towns and the plots of the second chapter. Give your player more reason to travel around the region or get hooked to the various plots of the campaign. Town events, 37 random town events to set the mood of the harsh reality the folk live in. 20 diverse road encounters, additional options for traveling, trading, sacrifices to Oral on New Moon, and many more. Numerous tables and sidebars. Dozens of cross-references to the Rime of the Frost Maiden campaign on D&D Beyond and to other helpful resources. So, you know, if you're working that campaign and you want to just enhance it, this sounds like it's a really good option to back that up. So you can see some of the nice tables here. There is a bundle out there with a bunch of other stuff, so keep that in mind. You might want to look this over before you make a purchase, see if you'd rather get the bundle. Alright, let's see what it looks like inside here. So it's got this kind of frosty border, which is very thematic. Nice artwork. Definitely wizard style. Yeah, very cool. Okay. And then here's the 8, you get to see 8 pages. Very clean layout and lots of links, so you can skip around through the PDF. So here's a whole sidebar on fist fights. It says roll a D100 on an 80 or lower. There will be a bar fight between 3d4 commoners. So pretty good chance there's going to be a bar fight. Yeah, cool. Fishing contest. Yeah, it looks like they've done a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, if I was DMing and going to run this campaign, I would want this book as even just as a, you know, backup if things go sideways and I don't know, you know, where my players are going to go. I would have this as like a way to pull something from to maybe you know, take it further. And it looks like since they updated the cover, it's gone silver, so that's amazing for the first week. So people must really be running this campaign and needing these resources. So check it out. It's you know, 48 pages of goodness, it looks like. All right, next we have options for characters with disabilities, and you can get it completely free. It's from Marius Solstice, 7 pages. It says, hi, I'm glad to present to you my options for characters with disabilities, namely deaf, hard of hearing, blind, and visually impaired characters. This document has presented to the deaf and blind communities before anything. Their insights and remarks were helpful. It also includes homebrewed spells such as captioning, embossing, and objects such as gloves of universal comprehension. Feedback is welcome. And it includes a printer-friendly and screen reader version, a version for dyslexic. So we've seen a couple titles today that have those disability features. And if anybody has any links on how to make your title have versions like that, you know, please share them in the comments, because I'd love to make my titles do that as well. And while you're at it, comment on the video if there's a title that you're loving or that you're interested in or that you're going to buy. That's really cool. We do have links to all the titles alphabetically in the description, but this is interesting. I like when people give stuff away on here, but also when they're trying to help different communities. So nice, clean, easy to read layout. And again, it's completely free, so there's no reason not to get this. Even if you're not sure you're going to use it right away, you could have it on hand. So yeah, it goes through. You get to see 3 of the 7 pages in this preview here, but might as well get the whole thing for free. It's got conditions and wording information, gaining hearing or sight. So I would check that out, just to even have on standby if you need it. Very cool. Next we have the Shaman, a class of ritual casting and spiritual connection, and it's from Outlandish Adventure Productions with Ross Leiser and Eli Scoville. So, sorry if I'm butchering names, there's no pronunciations on here, so I just try my best here. $7.49. It's already got a 5-star rating, nice, from 5 ratings. It's a full spell casting class of ritual casting and spiritual connection. Shamans learn sacred rituals that allow them to connect and commune with spirits, expanding their knowledge of rituals into becoming ritual casting specialists. The Shaman spell list contains only cantrips and ritual spells they can prepare, and they can cast these spells of first level and higher only as rituals. Their dynamic spell slot casting comes by forming and cultivating relationships with a number of spirit guides, then channeling those spirits to gain access to their knowledge and powers. So here's some of the spirits listed. So air spirit, control the wind and storms. Mournful spirit, control emotions and create connections to others. Water spirit, wield the tides and frost. Very cool. And then there's a template for creating your own spirit guides. I love that. That's really cool, especially with these custom classes, because they're competing with, the off the rack official wizards classes, right, that have all these options. So when you provide things to like beef it up even more, expand and create your own, that's super helpful. More class supplements should do that. They choose a shamanic practice that specializes the way they channel their spirit power. So this is probably the archetype or subclass. So exorcism, mark your foes with a banishing brand that makes your attacks deal additional damage, and that banishes extraplanar invaders when they're defeated. Totemism, summon totems that channel your spirit guide's abilities and allow you to dominate a portion of the battlefield. War chanting, engage in a battle song that improves the resilience and battle capabilities of each ally who can hear it. So very nice. 19 spells, 8 of which are exclusive to the Shaman spell list. And it says, I wrote the class when I was inspired by an exploration of the Cherokee ancestry on my mom's side of the family and became fascinated with how shamanism presents in cultures around the world. It wouldn't have been possible to respectfully and accurately portray these practices without the supervision of 2 sensitivity readers. Nice. So there's some sensitivity readers that have read this. So it says here, I was just reading this, I believe that everyone who wants to play my products, regardless of financial means, should be able to do so. To that effect, if you'd like to play any of my products, you can contact me through my social media accounts listed below to get a printer-friendly copy at no cost to you. This copy won't include any of the art assets, but it will contain everything you need to utilize the product in your games. That is so cool. Very cool, Ross and Eli, for doing that. So yeah, I mean, can't beat that. If you can't afford it, this is an option to get it, contacting them. But hopefully you can afford it and support these creators. These creators, they don't make a lot of money from this. A lot of them are doing it just for the passion. You can see that this is awesome art in here and very clean layout. I like this. I would love to read the whole thing. Yeah, I got spells. Cool. Let's look at the full size. Yeah, I like that layout. Really nice. They did a good job. It's very Wizards-esque, which we appreciate. So you can see some of these different features, like cantrip versatility. Whenever you reach a level in this class that grants the ability score improvement feature, you can replace one cantrip you learned from this class's shamanic ritual spellcasting feature with another cantrip from the shaman or from the shaman spell list. So, okay. And then here's the spirit guide section. So, okay, it gives you access to bonus spells. So that's a nice way to kind of bring in the theme. So the animal spirit gives you, animal themed spells. Yeah, this would be fun to play, it looks like. And the layout's really nice, lots of cool art throughout. And you're getting to see, out of the 35 pages, you're getting to see 30 of them, so you can read through some of the spells here. So yeah, check it out on the DM's Guild. Next we have Rise of the Genie Lords, Part 5 by Brian Hamilton. It says, defeat the Genie Lords of 𝙁𝙤𝙩𝙪𝙧𝙚 for the world's greatest role-playing game. $7.99 for 35 pages. The armies of Kalimport and Memnon gather in the Kalim Desert for a final attempt to raise one of the Genie Lords of old. In this adventure, you will journey to Wildath in the lands of Tether to recruit the aid of an ancient elf, the only one capable of reforging the Kalimnon crystal. This is the 5th and final adventure in a series that takes you on a quest to prevent the Genie Lords of old from returning and reclaiming the country of 𝙁𝙤𝙀𝙀. Are you ready for the final chapter? So you can see the other ones are down here, and wow, I love the art on that one. I think that's part 1, yeah. So might be, if you're looking for a series created by somebody other than, the official ones, this might be a good option. Let's look at the interiors. So yeah, the table of contents, maps, notable locations, very cool. So, sometimes you open a module and it's just like a wall of text. So I like seeing all the different stuff that you can look at as you're reading through. So then, there's stuff that you can read out loud, little stories in here. Nice maps. They did a good job on the maps here. Locations, random encounters, very cool. I like random encounters in these module books because they just inspire you for other things too, not even just for this. So very cool. Looks like they put a lot of time into this 5-part adventure. So if you're looking for a new one, maybe off the beaten path, not the official stuff, might be a good option here on DM's Guild. Next we have Ravenloft, Council of Monsters. Over 350 pages of content, includes player options and a 3rd to 12th level adventure. So $17.92 from Jim Heston. Continues right where Ravenloft Invitation to the Council of Monsters leaves off, with the trip to Barovia itself. It's a supplement for players and DMs with 170-page adventure, so it definitely would need to be a long one to go from the 3rd to 12th level. 25 full color maps, over 70 illustrations, 13 new subclasses. So it looks like they've got like subclasses for everything, including the Artificer. 5 new feats, 17 new magic items, 50 new monsters, games within the game, player handouts. So they've got some of the art down here, and they've even got a little video on it. So, if you just started your Ravenloft stuff, this might be a supplement for you, or even later. So, got a little intro questions, table of contents, and it's got the Wizards feel inside here. They don't have a full-size preview, so you can't get close up. Which, with as many pages as they have, I'd recommend that they add one, because you can choose which pages to show. So you could show some pages if you're worried about somebody taking some. I would show some of the adventure pages or something, because they would need the full adventure really. So it's less of a threat if you add just maybe some pages of the adventure. But that's a lot of stuff. It sounds like even just the the archetypes here. They've got a Rage Doll Specialist, an Expediter, Nefarious, Pathogen, Origin, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. Next we have Kurgan of the Gravethorn. It's by Thomas David Lake for $9.19, 20 pages. The burial place of a legendary bandit chieftain and death priest of Yurtis, orcish god of death. Yvelda Gravethorn has been uncovered in the wilds of the Sword Coast. Various parties seek brave adventurers willing to delve into the Kurgan's chambers and uncover lost secrets or lost adventures. Kurgan the Gravethorn is a 3 to 6 hour adventure for a party of 4 to 5 3rd level characters that can either be run as a one-shot or used as a jumping off point for further adventures. So if you're playing around in the Sword Coast, you need something else, this might be a good option for you. Let's look at the stuff inside. Table of contents, intro, background, setup. So lots of kind of behind the scenes stuff set up for the DM. And then for the players. Cool. Alright. See the full size. So yeah, lots of interesting stuff. And there's some Candlekeep connections here. Looks like, yeah, it says librarians of Candlekeep Gravethorn ambushed numerous book carriers traveling to Candlekeep from various locales bearing rare and obscure texts. The librarians would be interested in retrieving those that possibly were buried with her remains. They have managed to work out the location of her burial place through deduction, spending some coin in shady places and arcane means. So you could tie it into Candlekeep Mysteries, it looks like, or you could spin out from doing the Candlekeep stuff. But then it also talks about if you're not using Forgotten Realms, what to do. So another adventure module for you. Next we have Bank Robbers from the KSM team. It's $1.95 for 18 pages. Wild West in the Forgotten Realms universe, skirmishes in dusty streets, bank robberies, ambiguous criminals, horse chases, cowboy duels, robbery, whiskey, and sand on your teeth. Sounds like a Saturday night. Adventure for 4 to 5 characters of 3 to 4 level, 2 to 5 hours of play, moral dilemma at the end of the adventure. That's a good teaser. Now I want to know how it ends here. So let's look at some of the insides. Alright, so looks like it didn't load for me. There we go. Tried to preload today, so it wasn't so slow to watch me load all these pages. They've been so slow lately. So it looks like just a couple pages in here on the quick preview. See what the full size has. Also just 3 of the 18, but it's okay. You can see like an overview here, general information. So they've got some NPCs it looks like they're talking about in here. So let's read about Leopold Etzer here. It says Leopold Etzer is one of the founders of the White Bank. Just a few years after the White Bank managed to seize a monopoly in the city's banking sector, Etzer became its sole owner. Unfortunately, all the other founders of the bank, as well as their heirs, died tragically in a shipwreck during the celebration of the next anniversary of the founding of the White Bank. So kind of setting up some of the banks that you're going to be dealing with. Let's see if it says where. Sidey City. So I don't know if that's a new location or if it's just one in Forgotten Realms I'm not familiar with. But it's got more information on it over here. Cool. So if you want a little bit of a Western flair added to your Forgotten Realms, or maybe you can even adapt it elsewhere, this might be a good option for you. Alright. Confectinia. A delightfully dread domain. A look at the domain of sweet delights. Confectinia. This land was once sweet, has now turned sour, and any who stumble into this land will find their just desserts. So it's by No Fun Allowed. It's $1 for 10 pages. Not everything is gumdrops and lollipops in the land of Confectina, or I want to say Confectinia. This land appears to be bright and happy, yet looks are deceiving. A tyrant, Lord Jawbreaker, has cemented his rule over Confectinia, and the people wallow in fear. The people hide, refusing to rise up, as those who come across Lord Jawbreaker's forces and live are mute from broken jaws. Okay, so he lives up to his name there. He's breaking jaws. In this product, you will find the delightfully dreadful domain of Confectinia, and candy monsters, and armies for the fighting for their very futures. Okay, so I like the concept. I think it's, this sort of twisted Candyland. Oh, and they even have a map of Confectinia. Cool. Let's look at the large size here. Cool. So yeah, this must be Lord Jawbreaker. And then there's some adventures, and we're only seeing 4 of the 10 pages here, but so they've got a table to create some adventures. They've got information on role-playing him and his torment. And okay, there's all kinds of places. So they've got, this is Confectinia, the map, which I like. And it says Molasses Mines, Gumball Grotto, Marshmallow Mountain, Cotton Candy Coast, Candle Apple Caravans, Taffy Floating Town. So really creative stuff. Gingerbread Junction, Caramel Clearing. I mean, you could have a lot of fun with this, especially if your players are getting used to how things are. You could really shake it up. Let's read one of these. The Cotton Candy Coast. The swirling pinks and blues congeal into rolling tides in the Cotton Candy Coast. The sea is sweet and delectable, while also being abundant in gummy fish. Small fishing villages are dotted up and down the coast, with the aquatic vehicles in their possession being no larger than a sloop. The seas were kind and the fish plentiful. However, the waters are now infested with man-eating gummy sharks that prey on any who dare go out in the waters. Wow, so you could have your players be attacked by gummy sharks. So I'm not sure if they have stats in here for the monsters, but that could be fun, gummy sharks. Alright, so if you want some candy madness, check this out. You can have like your own version of Candy Crush in D&D here. Alright, next we have Airships Mechanics for D&D from Georgina Young. It's 11 pages for $7.09. It says, introducing a brand new set of airship mechanics designed for simplicity and ease of use by an adventuring party with no additional crew. Created for a solar-punk world, these airships are naturally floating wood and sails from the elemental plane of air, giving airships that can be operated by a single pilot. It includes airship history, brief history of the airships and the technologies behind them, airship designs, 3 sizes of airships, piloting the airship, full details on how to pilot it, how to handle an emergency or crash landings, airship pilot background, so characters who have experience working on airships, and then upgrades, 4 magic items to improve the airship, sails that only work at your command, reinforcements to the hull, and 2 controls to allow telepathic control. So you might even be able to expand this into like a Spelljammer situation, or use it with Spelljammer. Even though that hasn't been officially released for 5e, I know there's been some homebrews out there for that, but you can see here they got all kinds of details on the airships. So if you're looking to do some airship stuff, in a previous episode we talked about like a balloon pilot subclass or background. I forget what it was, but so you could maybe combine it with this and just have kind of this aviation focused setting. But you could put this in a regular campaign as well, it looks like, because it gives you everything you need to get the history, the designs, and then piloting and upgrading. So might be a fun way to take it in a new direction in your campaign. Alright, so next we have Van Richten's House of Lament, a supplemental guide. So it's from Alexis Page. It's 10 pages for $3.99, and it comes in multiple file formats. So it's an adventure sure to scale and excite your players that is built for levels 1 to 3, making a perfect one-shot adventure over 1 to 2 sessions to start your next campaign. Includes full-color VTT-ready map for the House of Lament, which are compatible with Roll20 or any other VTT platform. Suggestions for how to start this adventure if used as an alternate opening to the Curse of Strahd, as well as suggested changes to help add to the frights and fun of the adventure. So, very cool map, with multiple layers of this house. You can see some more details here. Spider webby chandelier here, it looks like. Some bones or something in there. And a lot of these you can even, get the maps and, buy it and get the maps and make something of your own too. So, you can either use the built-in adventure or make your own thing. So, I do like the spooky look of this, especially with all the Ravenloft stuff these days. So I'm sure, you can find a use for the maps, whether or not you use the adventure. The adventure sounds fun too, but, it's nice to think of the options with this one. So check it out on DM's Guild. And here is the interior. Okay, so you can see a little bit of the adventure text and how to set it up. It's even got some haunts, which I like. Very cool. Alright, next we have Bound to Dread Warlock Customization. Give your Warlock a distinctive flair with patron customization options for Dark Lords and other denizens of Ravenloft's Domains of Dread. So another tie-in here to Ravenloft. Okay, it says, along with 3 new Warlock subclasses, the 67-page supplement provides detailed profiles of specific named patrons, 20 of them, each of which hails from one of the Domains of Dread officially featured in the Van Richten's Guide. These profiles offer patron background and role-playing suggestions along with optional customizations to the standard subclass features. Much as with those presented in the best-selling first volume in this series, Bound to Avernus, the customizations herein are intended to modify or replace existing options so as to further distinguish your Warlock character from others of the same subclass without changing the overall mechanics. So that's nice. I like when products find a way to just kind of tweak what you've already bought, what's out there, you know, and to differentiate, because that can be challenging when you've got all these other players playing the same subclass. It's from Christopher Savasco for $6.95, 67 pages. 69 new Eldritch Invocations, dozens of magical boons and punishments, expanded familiar options, binding marks and traits, 3 otherworldly patron subclasses, detailed profiles, and role-playing suggestions for each of these patrons. So they've got a bunch of patrons in here. Looks like one for each of the domains, as they said. And then stat blocks for 4 new monsters. Wow, I would definitely like to look at this. You know, the whole thing. Alright, so here is some of the interiors. So the Carnival, and this talks about the Nepenthe the Executioner. It says, if you make your Warlock pact with Nepenthe, choose the Hexblade subclass subclass detailed in Xanathar's Guide to Everything and apply the following customization. So then it tells you how to like change it. So for patrons' goals, it says Nepenthe desires no more than the dispensation of swift and bloody justice. It is uncompromising and brutal in the pursuit of this goal. So tweak your patron's goals a little bit there. Lots of stuff. And it goes with the Carnival, which is nice. Optional abilities. Very cool. Very good art too. Like this one's talking about the last passenger of some train or something here. And so you've got this magical train and then a little ticket. It says Orton Lightning Railway, so that's nice. Yeah, they did a really good job with the interiors on this. Like I said, I definitely would love to look through the whole thing. So yeah, go check it out. It's on DM's Guild. Next we have Advanced Holy Symbols. Let the deities bless your party with the supplement for the world's greatest role-playing game from Bomber Mark. And it's 17 pages. Holy symbols are an important part of the equipment of any divine spellcaster. Not only can they be used as a focus, they also identify a faithful as member of their order, providing precious information to onlookers. Advanced Holy Symbols gives you the option of using deity-specific spellcasting focus, which can be sacrificed in order to produce small miracles in times of need, regardless of whether you want to reward your spellcasters for their devotion or allow your party to loot a strange-looking amulet on a Null Fang of Ynaggu. With over 80 new items, you'll certainly find inspiration in this guide. So, focused on those holy symbols, which is really, really cool. And it's pay what you want for $3.95. I would definitely recommend paying something. But it's nice when they have that option because you can pay less if you need to. Here's the interior. It's got that wizard's feel, and I like the artwork. It's very different looking with the characters here. Doesn't list the artist on the page here, but the interior probably does. Let's look here. Yep. So David Ravoy maybe did the art. Cool. So you got common amulets, uncommon amulets, rare amulets, and customizing information on customizing them. So druidic, arcane focus, non-consumable, spell requirements. So they're covering all the bases here with your holy symbols. So let's just read one of these. Amulet of Chanti. It's common. This amulet can be used to cast Druidcraft once. Doing so destroys the amulet, transforming it into a single ripe apple. Cool. And let's read one more. Amulet of Siseth. This amulet can be used to cast Poison Spray once. Doing so destroys the amulet, which transforms it into a small snake, and it skitters away. Very cool. So, some options for your holy symbols, which, you know, maybe don't get a lot of attention in some of the books. So you can expand them and look at the art. I mean, it's really fun and good to look at while you're reading about all this stuff. All right, before we move on to the drive-through RPG titles for this week, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. It helps us out a lot. We're not monetized yet, so we need all the views, all the likes, all the subscribes we can get, and the shares if you can share the video out there. Also, you can help the channel by buying our book, which is listed in the video description, along with all the titles. If you click on any of those links and make a purchase, it helps support the channel. So please do that. We do like helping all these creators as well, so help them by buying their books, encouraging them to keep producing this material. It's, again, not very profitable, so you know, you want to show the love, especially if you're getting some value out of what you're seeing. Another thing to mention is that we're starting to produce videos that go into detail on specific titles. So this week we released one that has like 64 magic items that you can use for D&D 5th edition. Next week we've got one coming out on encounters in Theros, where we give you like the full encounter that you can use for some of those. So if you've got a product you want us to maybe consider, visit the About page on the YouTube channel to get the contact information and the form you need to fill out, or just message me on Twitter at Splinterverse, which it'd be great if you follow me there. We've got a print-on-demand book and digital book coming later this month that I think everybody will be excited to see. So you can find out more about it on the on the Twitter feed, and other cool stuff we've got coming up. So on to the drive-through RPG titles. The first one is the Magic Shop Catalog with 16 enchanting locations. I love this cover. It's just kind of gives you that feel, warm, fuzzy feel, that you're going to have some Magic Shop adventures here. It's from Realm Warp Media, and you've got both a PDF for $14.99, and then they've got the softcover book for $24.95, and the combination is $29.95. It's 78 pages. It's a system agnostic book that brings 16 ready-to-play dynamic magic shops, each based on a unique and flavorful concept. Each shop brings its own items, engaging NPC, customers, and adventure hooks, and is easily inserted into any TTRPG system. So it can be even something beyond D&D here. The product features Abracadabra, a shop specializing in necromancy and other after-death services. Bloody Good Time, if you want to become undead, this family-run business can help you do so responsibly. That sounds fun. The Interplanar Bazaar, filled with items from all over the multiverse. I like that. That could be really useful for, you know, getting a planner adventure going. Maybe there's something in this shop that is the catalyst for the adventure. And then there's Phenomenal Plants, the one-stop shop for all your mundane and magical plant needs. Don't Mind the Lost Trent. Very cool. And I'm seeing lots of things that I would tie in with my Libram of Lineages book. There's keys and books that need to be found. So these shops would be perfect places to find those things. So yeah, this looks like so much fun. The Tower of Time, half buried beneath the sand. Find all your time-related needs and services inside. Wow, these are really good. I definitely, if I ever venture into DMing, I'm going to use this one, because I already have like a million ideas just reading it. So let's look at looks like the quick preview's not working. Let's look at the full preview. All right, so got all the different shops listed here. Got a good group of people working on the writing. So assumptions, how to run these shops. So that's good. And then you got kind of the storefront, so you can show this picture to your players if you want. So it's got the appearance of the shop, and then the person who runs the shop, and then various things. So it says corpse. While perusing the wares of Cadaver, clientele may feel themselves being watched from the darkness. This is because they in fact are being watched by the shop assistant Corpse, the undead raven. So that's awesome. What a cool theme. And I mean, the name, which I butchered, Abracadaver, is such a cool play on magic and the names. And then you've got customers on a table here, and services that they offer, like revival, speaking with the dead, weird forms of payment that you can use. I mean, awesome. Lots of magic items hidden in there, including a special item, Death Shroud, events that can happen. And this is just one, we're just in one shop, guys. Like, imagine what the whole thing is like. And then you've got Armored Mighty Morphs. So this is a play on Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or something, I guess. It's a boutique where those capable of shapeshifting can purchase items that are usable in their animal forms. So like a druid or some other shape changer. While weapons and armors are the most popular products, there are also wares for people who aren't going into battle but simply want to exist in their animal form for a time. It's run by Sinacastra, a retired adventurer who makes all goods in-house. Awesome. So yeah, so this preview, 54, you're getting to see 54 pages of the 78. I mean, that's really good to get to see all this stuff. Lots of stuff in here. It seems like there's like a magic shop for everything in here. So yeah, I definitely want to get this book. Just to read it for fun. Get some ideas, get inspiration. And it could work really well with my next book, because my next book has stuff that could be sold in shops. So stay tuned. Yeah, I like what they're doing here. They did a really good job on this. Yep, check it out. And you've got options. You can get the bundle with both the digital and the soft cover over on Drive-Thru RPG. Next, we have Ancestral Anthologies Volume 3, Favorite of the Gods, from Beth Jones and Beyond the Horizon. It's also got the PDF or the book versions, and you can get the combo, and the combo is only $9.95. It's 54 pages. It says, Svara caught her friend Set just before Wakuro's form reappeared beside her. You were right, Wakuro told Svara. We can always count on your keen sense of smell to track down anything. There are 6 well-armed fighters guarding the chalice, and I overheard them saying that the highest bid so far is 2,000 gold. They're not letting anyone in armed, so it's a good thing we've got other options. When I give you the signal, you hit them with your mind blast, Svara told Wakuro, as she allowed her venomous saliva to drip onto a wicked-looking dagger. Seconds later, her appearance changed from an anthropomorphic, red-scaled Ophidian to a red-haired human beauty in seconds. Svara tucked the envenomed dagger into her bodice, gave Wakuro a wink, and said, Let's get this chalice back to the monastery where it belongs. So kind of a flavorful intro there, kind of a snapshot of an adventure. So this series has been pretty interesting, giving ancestries. It's kind of like a replacement for races, if I understand it correctly. I haven't read the books completely, but I've looked through some of them, and they're pretty cool. Rules for the 7 new ancestries, each with its own unique heritages and ancestry feats. In total, you'll find 19, along with 139 feats, so that's a lot. So there's the Discari. They hail from gigantic underground cavern and stand 7 feet tall. As strong as stones that surround their homes, the gentle giants are capable of bringing the heat in combat, though most prefer a calmer approach. And then you've got the Tari, bipedal humanoids with the upper body of an elf and an antlered head and the legs of a reindeer, so rare that most think that they're satyrs. Few have ever even seen them. Tari live both among elves and centaurs and quickly learn to use their agility and speed to the fullest. They're headstrong but love their home and friends and would do anything for them. So very distinct, each of these ancestries, which is awesome. And I think that might be a Tari on the front here. I'm not sure. Let's look at the interiors. So yeah, it looks kind of like a satyr. So it could be the Tari there. But yeah, so that's nice art. And you've got a full intro to the Discari and their names and their relations with other races and their traits. So seems like they're devoting a good amount of page count to each of the options, which is nice. You don't want it to feel rushed or like something got left out. So yeah, you get to see an entire one of the ancestors here. So you get to, the whole Discari is here for you to read. Except for it looks like something, they might not have all the traits here, but a good amount of the information on the Discari. So, and the art is very, very nice. So if you're looking to mix up the races in your campaign, this might be a really good option for you. And it's on DriveThruRPG. Next we have Fool's Hand, I think that says, Adventures Volume 1, or Fool's Haven, okay, Adventures Volume 1. It's kind of hard to read that text. From Red Genie Games, $5.74, pay what you want. Definitely recommend paying something. 56 pages. It says it's system agnostic, but also 5e compatible. Welcome to Fool's Haven, City of Adventure, the Jewel of Middenbite, and your new home. Adventurers from throughout the vague world have braved the many dangers of the borderlands to seek their destiny as free traders within its mighty walls, and some have succeeded in making a little coin in the process. But the life of a free trader is a difficult one, and many have abandoned the call to adventure or have given their lives following its siren song. But never fear, for where others have failed, you surely succeed with the aid of these useful handbooks published by the Middenbite Mail. Okay. Tongue twister of the week, guys. In Fool's Haven, players take on the role of free traders, adventurers, mercenaries, and entrepreneurs who have abandoned the simple life in favor of one of glory and great reward. But a free trader's life is a risky one with peril and misfortune, and not every employer cares about the well-being of their free trader freelancers. So there's a bunch of adventures, it looks like. The gate job. In order to get a job, you'll need a free trader's license. In order to get a license, you'll need money, but in order to get money, you'll need a job. It's a vicious cycle for a newcomer to town, but a local city watchman is willing to help you out. So that's kind of like the intro to this stuff. Gash's Gauntlet. Gash Throat Ripper is the star forward rover for the Freiburg Bruisers and the greatest orc player ever to take to playing ball. But a lot of people want a rival team, the Freiburg Bloods, to win, and the likelihood of Gash making it to the game tomorrow, 1 in 100. You've taken those odds. All right, so maybe a protection adventure there. Let's look at some of the interiors. So it looks like they've got the printer-friendly version as their preview, which is totally fine. Could also be an accident. When I uploaded my first title, I ended up with the black and white one accidentally. But it has to do with the naming. You want, if you're watching this video, guys, you want your naming like to be alphabetical. So you want your color version to have a earlier in the alphabet file name than this one. So I did full color and then printer friendly on my files. Just a tip for you if you're watching. But maybe that was intentional, which is fine. Alright, so same here, black and white, which is fine. Looks good. We can still get the idea. So there's an introduction to the adventures, and then different things you can do. So the gate job, this is the one we were talking about, looks cool. Let's look a little bit more about it. Says, though we intend Fool's Haven to be system neutral, it would be remiss of us not to give an example of how to adapt it to the system of your choice. Included throughout the booklet are some backgrounds compatible with the world's most popular role-playing game involving rolling a die and getting excited when it shows a 20. So, even though it's system neutral, it seems to have some info for 5e. So it says, henchmen, you are a hired sword for a disreputable or reputable group or individual. Most henchmen are thugs and guards, but some manage to stand out as exceptionally threatening or observant and may not ever actually have to let their fists do the talking. Regardless, loyalty to one's employer is a professional virtue, no matter if they are a watch captain, a legitimate business owner, or a criminal kingpin. And then it's got your skills, your tools, feature. So these are your, I guess this is your, like your background basically. You have ties with the criminal, commercial, or legal institution that employs hired muscle. You have contacts within that group as long as you perform occasional favors and duties for the organization you work for. Cool. Alright, so check that out. If you want some, sounds like job-based adventures, which could be fun. Next, Darkness Gathers Under the Great Silver Hall. It's from Monster Brew DM. It's on sale for $1.75, normally $3.50, 11 pages. It says, okay, that's in another language, but it's translated as, see the great silver hall before you, or the great silver hall before you, we stand against the darkness. The mind stronghold of clan giant Smasher has drawn silent. The clang of metal on metal no longer fills its halls. Will you take up the call to action and investigate the goings-on within the great silver hall? All right, let's look inside. So, nice wizard-style layout and art. I like the art. Okay, we'll look at and then the full preview is not found. That's okay though. So if you're watching the video Monster Brew DM, your full-size preview is not working. Definitely would like to see that. But looking at the quick preview, I mean, you can see some really beautiful art, nice clean layout. You get to read some things about the adventure hooks to your players. Yeah. And you might even have some different language in there if you're interested in that. You know, some DMs like to play with the different languages, so that's cool. Next we have Demon Cults and Secret Societies Emerald Order from Kobold Press. It's a softcover only for $14.99, 26 pages. It says the Emerald Order is devoted to the guardianship and understanding of the mysteries of the Emerald Tablet, whereon the greatest arcane secrets of Thoth Hermes are inscribed. The Inner Circle has divined the secrets of the tablets, enhancing their already formidable magic abilities with new understanding. It includes a new cultist subclass, the Emerald Order Initiate and Disciple of the Emerald Esoterica, or 𝙒𝙚𝙀𝙀. Fully detailed cult leaders, organization, and goals with complete stats for 6 general levels of cultists plus specific leaders, plots and adventure hooks for party levels 1 to 12, plus Gyre Falcon repository and adventure locale ready to play. Okay, cool. So you get both the adventure hooks, plots, and a location. New magic items. So you get an Ioun Stone, Emerald Tablets artifact, and 2 new monsters. Fully illustrated. It says give your villains a little arcane boost or give your players their own secret agenda. Show your players a new challenge with the book. So Kobold Press, I mean, they produce a lot of good stuff. I know a lot of people use especially their monster books. And I'm a fan of their stuff. I like some of their campaign settings they've released, just to read for fun. What I like, though, is that it sounds like they have a class that they've created called the Cultist, and this introduces some additional archetypes or subclasses for that. And, I mean, a Cultist would be a fun thing to play. I haven't gotten to play it, but it sounds like it would be really fun, a different angle. You probably have to have some secrets and, try to do your cult's bidding, maybe. So, very interesting. Check it out on Kobold Press, especially if you're into like physical copies of books. Alright, next we have SZ1 Lair of the Toad, a fantasy adventure for 0 level characters, compatible with Osric and most first edition retro clones from Starry Night Press. It's $3.49 for 32 pages. So if you're into OSR stuff, this could be an awesome new adventure for you. It says it's a newly revised 0 level adventure for use with Osric 1E. Let's see. Focuses on neophyte 0 level player characters and new parties of would-be adventurer. Takes place beneath the streets of the coastal village of Dunmara, which is in the nation-state of Dunbarist, in the author's campaign world of Terrans. In this adventure, your group will portray a group of young friends who have grown up together in and around Dunmara. On the fateful night of this adventure, they have met at their favorite local pub, the Golden Harp, to drink, laugh, share their dreams of adventure, and maybe, if they are very lucky, to see one of the travelers from distant lands who sometimes frequent the pub. Before the night is through, they will indeed meet such traveler in the person of Allura Murrigan, a fledgling magister who will seek their assistance in recovering her ancestral signet ring, which was stolen by an albino rat and then fled down a nearby sewer grate. In the sewers below their hometown, your players will face dangers they never knew existed, and if they survive the ordeal, they will earn the right to call themselves adventurers. So that's fun. It's a good way to kind of get your first group of adventurers, they're very low level, going in this Osric style adventure. completely detailed dungeon map, old school blue and white style with new monsters, new magical items. There's pre-gen characters, so that's great. You can just out of the box get started. Yeah, here's the table of contents. So very cool, and then you can see the old school blue and white map. Those are fun. With the legend. And it says it's the first in a series of zero-level adventures, so you can get in right on the start with this, guys. Collect them all. Hopefully you got some collections going. Some of these things. So let's look at the interiors. Okay, so you get a little hex map as well. Nice line art. A little rat going. A little albino rat stealing stuff. Alright. Here's the next one. Alright, it looks like I messed up here. I didn't mean to have that up on screen. We'll close that first. We'll start with the Atoral Lone Colossus game. 75 cents. Pay what you want. I mean, 75 cents is pretty low already, but you know, you could get it for free if you want it. I do recommend paying something for 2 pages. Screams of fear and cries of agony sound in the night. The curses come, they cry. The Atoral has arrived. The Atoral is a cruel and twisted demonic spirit that travels the land, spreading terror and feeding on the suffering of its victims. Difficult to track down and even harder to slay, this monster will provide a challenging adventure for most parties. So that's cool. And I like the skull here. So you can see the rats or bugs, or no, this is a cat and a dog. I don't know why I said bugs. These videos are long. I get kind of worn out by the time I get to the end. Anyway, so you've got the stats here for the Atoral. So very cool, brand new monster for you. I mean, and you get to see the whole book here. So you get to see all the stats. Yeah, you get to find out all about the animal curse. It says, though capable of taking on an animal shape itself, the Atoral prefers to possess animals to use their bodies as living shields. Okay, so there could be a bug that's possessed. When it can, it takes control of favored pets, seeking to amplify the trauma and horror of its victims by causing them to bear witness to crimes committed by their beloved pet. Oh, or worse still, force them to slay the animal in an attempt to end the curse. Okay, oh, that would be sad. Have to kill your pet. When not in the form of an animal, the Atoral appears to be as an indistinct gray fog. So, you know, you could really mess with players, you know, kill off their familiar or something, or you could just have an albino rat or something like we saw in that previous adventure that needs to be dealt with here. So, very cool and reasonably priced. So check that out if you're looking for a new monster. Next we have Beowulf Age of Heroes 7 Stones, an adventure for 1 hero of level 4 to 5 and 1 GM for the world's favorite role-playing game. So I was looking at Beowulf, you know, this game, and it's designed what they call duet play, which is, you know, you have a player and a GM, so you don't really need a lot of people to play. It can be adapted to groups to play, but it's designed for, you know, the two players basically. Well, 1 player, 1 GM. And I think that's really cool. You don't really see that a lot. And Beowulf, you know, goes way back. It's one of the most longest surviving stories that we have. So it's nice that they build a whole series around it. So it takes us to a desperate settlement living in terror of a dreadful monster. The village lies on a rocky peninsula blasted by frigid winds, and here people have lived in fear of Storeworm for generations. And this art is just stunning. Like, I really want to look at these books in detail. I mean, just even the little tokens they've got here. I mean, so nice. It's written by Elaine Lithgow and art from John Hodgson, Paul Bourne, and Scott Purdy. 7 Stones provides a wealth of NPCs to meet, locations to explore, and adversaries to battle. It's 33 pages, full color. It comes with VTT battle maps and tokens, so that if you can't play in person, you can play on the virtual tabletop of your choice. Yeah, look at these nice maps, guys. An open-ended finale is really up to the player to solve the mystery of what is going on at the spearhead and determine how best to resolve it. So yeah, the original series was, or the setting was funded on Kickstarter, and then they've got a full-length scenario video you can watch as well. But it looks stunning. I definitely would love to flip through the whole thing. Wow, and the art, I mean, just great. These artists are really good. Layout looks good. Here's the interior. Yeah, just so beautiful, the layout. I mean, just these details on the sides. I mean, just to look at this book is fun. So check it out. It's $4.99. And probably need to get this if you don't have it as well, so maybe check that out. But there's a free full-length scenario that you can try it out with, so you might get that as well. Very cool. Right next we have Fire Quintessence. It says it's for the Hexagon role-playing game and 5th edition. From Diego Pisa Artworks, $3. It covers the Fire Tamer class and has 5 burning paths: war, destruction, cauterization, elemental self, and ashes. Each burning path can be taken as a feat to add fire powers to any other class as well. So there you go, and it's compatible with both those games. Standalone material for the Fire Quintessence game tool, or inside of your ongoing campaigns by reskinning and adapting them to best fit your game. So some options. So we had a lot of classes today, so if you're looking for a new class, these are some good options. Oh wow, look at this cool art. Yep. Looks like they put a lot of time into this. Oh, your full preview is not working though, if you're watching, guys. So, looking again at this, I mean, it's got a clean layout, all kinds of stuff for the class. It's 38 pages devoted to one class, so, and things that you can adapt to other classes. So I like that. Some people are nervous about using a brand new class, an unofficial class. So the fact that you've got it so that they can use the feats for other classes, that adds some additional value. So good job doing that. Because then if you don't want to use the full class, you can always use the feats and bring some fire powers to other classes as well. So check it out, Drive Through RPG. Next we have the Valley of Karachia. It's a mountain-based realm in Imlar, a perfect place for beginning adventurers to learn the ropes. Contained in this module, you'll find an overview of the valley, detailed information on the town of Brink, and 2 adventures to kick off a new campaign, the Crimson Caverns and the Relic of Foulsborough. It's the first in the new Regularon's Codex series from Mythgarther Entertainment, focusing on the gameplay using encyclopedia of rules, but can be played with any OSR style game. So BECME, Basic, OSR, all those. So if you're looking for a new adventure, it's already got a 5-star rating. And it says that they've gone back to their roots and they're writing adventures and accessories for OSR. And it's the Regulations Codex line. So, and they're going to do a print version in the future, it looks like. Let's look at some of the insides of the book. So you get a good hex map with an intro. Kind of love hex maps. And then you even got the town. So lots of maps and little creatures running through. And it's got that like sort of 2nd edition feel with the blue borders up here, which is nice. Very cool. All right, let's look at the interior. Whoa, cool. All right. So lots of markers on this map. So they're going to give you details of all these different locations. Crimson Caverns. A large crystal slowly throbs with blood-red light in the lower portion of these caves. Streaks of light, like veins of precious metal, pulse along with the crystal throughout the entire complex, lending the caverns their name. The crystal has a unique property. Living creatures who die within the caverns have a 1 in 6 chance of rising as a zombie in 1d4 turns. Zombies created in this manner do not come back once killed. Wandering monsters are 1d4 plus 1 kobolds, checked every other turn. So, and then they got these cool little guys in here. Creatures. Yeah, all kinds of very old school feel. So, takes you back. There's goblins in them there hills, a first level starter adventure for 5th edition. Brought to you by Crooked Staff Publishing. It's $2.99, 16 pages. Emboldened by their new leader, a particularly aggressive tribe of goblins has seen fit to expand their territory into the area south of their mountain home. As such, the road into the small settlement of 𝙒𝙚𝙢𝙡 is no longer safe for merchant caravans to ply their trade, making it clear that this new goblin menace must be dealt with swiftly before things get out of hand. So it's 16 pages intended as an intro or one-shot adventure. Each of the encounters can be represented on the tabletop with some terrain, featured on the Crooked Staff Terrain YouTube channel, though you can use the VTT maps that have been included also. So cool. So they have, Crooked Staff has their own channel, and they have some terrain, which is cool. I'm going to have to go check out their channel. I haven't seen it, but that's awesome. I mean, I love the little terrain, the Dwarven's Forge and various terrain things out there. So check out their channel and their books here. Let's look at the interior. So that's some cool artwork. So yeah, they've got this cool little goblin stuff going on. They've got this isometric map, and yeah, nice, clean. I love the retro style art. This is 5e. Got new monsters, and yeah, there's the map at the end. Let's look at the full size if they've got one. Yep, there we go. So yeah, only a couple pages here in the full size, but that's alright. It still looks really good. And let's see. It takes place inside of an old deserted dwarf dwelling, and to a lesser extent the small mine beneath it. So fun. Can go into a dwarf area here. Have a mine adventure. That's always good. Maybe you need one. Maybe you've been dealing with some dwarf stuff, and or goblin stuff, and you need just a little something to fill in your campaign. So I think this is a good option. Check it out on Drive-Thru RPG. Sandbox Adventures, Mystery in Blackthorn Keep. Quite the bloody mess here. Something happened, and it's from Headless Hydra Press, $4.99, 30 pages. Says, can you solve a murder to prevent a war? I don't know. A beautiful young woman has vanished and appears to have been murdered in Blackthorn Keep. When everything is more than it seems and every NPC is hiding something, can the players uncover what really happened to Mara Andal? Set against a precarious meeting of two noble houses, this 30-page adventure is bursting with hidden clues, red herrings, nefarious NPCs, political intrigue, and an entire castle to explore. So it's like an Agatha Christie situation here. Gonna have to get in there and investigate stuff, figure it out. That can be fun. I think those kind of adventures are some of the most fun. It's when you have to solve clues and figure stuff out. Got 12 detailed NPCs with VTT tokens, 2-floor castle to explore with VTT battle maps, dozens of progressive discovery tables, random generators, and menus loaded with full color artwork, 12 Hexplorer map tiles, so that's good for hex crawls, plug and play design so you can drop it in. Nice. And it does contain, themes of domestic violence, so just keep that in mind. So starting facts, NPCs, suspicions. I like the layout here because it's kind of helping you get ready for all this investigation, developments, the first fight, the ultimatum, and solving the case. And then here's this cool map that shows level 1 with all the rooms. So yeah, these big mysteries, they have these places with a lot of rooms where, the candlestick in the library, that kind of clue style solving stuff can be cool. Might even have a message about domestic violence in here, which is cool to bring to light and educate people. So, and it's number 8, and so if you like this, there's other ones in their series from Headless Hydra that you can get. So check it out. Next we have Berserker Class for Labyrinth Lord. It does say it works with 𝙏𝙞𝙩𝙪𝙧𝙚 basic swords and wizardry and castles and crusades as well. So let's see. Berserker abilities and skills. Grants bonuses to hit or additional attacks per round. Grants bonuses to unarmored class. Enables the Berserker to fight beyond normal physical capacity or even death. Fearlessness, magical transformation. Human Berserkers can transform into animals, including at higher levels. Man beasts and giant-sized beasts. Nice. Dwarf and gnome Berserkers can grow to the size and power of ogres and giants at the highest levels, and even to the size and power of titans. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, but it says easily used with any old school RPG, even though it's designed for 11th Lord. And it's only $1, guys, from James Missler Games. Let's look at the inside. So, yeah, you've got your progression table for the class, which is nice. Yeah, so you get to see 3 of the 12 pages. But what I like when I'm reading, the description is that you can go all the way up to the Titan size. That could be really fun. I'm sure it's later levels, right? It's not level 1 stuff, but still, if you have a long campaign where you get to that level, it'd be fun. It says Berserkers are members of tribes, religions, and organizations who focus on developing the ecstatic state that they can attain when engaged in battle. For them, battle is a spiritual experience where they become one with the act of battle. This state gives them the great powers while in battle, enabling them to take wounds that would otherwise slay other warriors, making them immune to fear and other natural and magical effects, and even enabling them to perform magical feats such as transforming into an animal or semi-animal forms or growing vastly in size. So they're just becoming attuned with the fighting, and there's some people that really like the martial stuff, right? That really into the just fighting. And so this might give them a class that's just like at one with the fighting. So another good, it's interesting, I'm sure these releases aren't timed, but we just had a ton of classes this week. So lots of great class options for you, including Berserker Class from James Missler Games. Next we have Old Swords Reign. Additional monsters and more for the Old Swords Reign role-playing game, Expansion 2 Monsters. And so this is 5e compatible and also OSR, according to the information on the side here. It's $1.99 from Workhorse RPG Studio. Contains over 70 new monsters, and it says Old Swords Reign is a complete role-playing game based on 5e and the original 1974 game and supplement. So it's like a combination. And there's links down here to other Old Swords Reign stuff. But it's if it's compatible with these systems, you can probably adapt the monsters for other things. So I love this font. It's so reminiscent of the basic boxes that you would get back in the day. So it talks about alignment, speed, hit class, all the good stuff that you need. So getting into some of the rules, monster DCs, and then the monster listing. So you can see already they got 𝙒𝙀𝙀𝙀, ant, giant worker ants, all kinds of stuff with the sort of classic style stats. So, and you can see 37 of the 42 pages. So there's really no reason to not look through this stuff if you're going to buy it, because you can get a really good idea for all the monsters. Death Dog, Doppelganger, Dragon Turtle. This one looks cool. It's like a mechanoid looking spider. It's a drider, but it looks kind of mechanoid there. And got the drow, elephants, all kinds of stuff. So if you need a lot of monsters for something with this old school style, and it looks like 5e. I mean, a lot of the stuff is here. You might have to check the numbers, make sure it works for you, but yeah, a lot of stuff in here, and I mean, you can see almost the whole book, so why not check it out, guys? Definitely worth looking through and see if there's something in there that you can use, and maybe even check out the Old Swords Reign as well. Okay, next we have Dungeon Delve, Fantasy Game Adventure, Secret of the Silver Spire, and it's for first edition, but it says over here it can be used with basic or 2e as well. So it says, rumors speak of a mysterious silver tower that shines like a polished mirror that has recently appeared out of thin air. Bizarre creatures believed to have emerged from the tower roam the land. The few learned sages that know of it suggest that the tower is really a dimension-hopping fortress. Awesome. Possibly some adventurers could go to the tower. Adventurers could go to the tower to find out why it has come here. Yeah. But, I mean, I like the dimension hopping, because you could put your characters in there and then have them come out somewhere else. That would be a good trick, right? So this is for levels 3 to 7, designed specifically for the first edition. It's a plot involving high adventure, sorcery, and mystery. It can fit into any campaign world. It can be adapted to second edition, original, Back Me, and most OSR games, as well as similar ones. The player characters explore an outlandish citadel inhabited by strange creatures such as the Barzani 8-man Modrons of many types and 3-faced golden sentinels. The enigmatic overlords are the Silver Masters, alien beings made of pure energy. The tower is a maze of rooms, stuffed with strange equipment and curious items these creatures have collected from all over the multiverse. So, and that's cool. It gives you that real old school feel, like a Castle Amber or something. And then there's options, to have it be multi-dimensional, which is cool too. So, wow, okay, look at this. This is like the tower, all the levels. Looks really fun. There's some Modrons doing stuff. Modrons are cool. And that's really fun art, really colorful, really classic looking. But yeah, you can see the cutaway view. Wow. Yeah, they put a lot of energy into this. Yeah, and the layout is very reminiscent of these older adventures. So there's duct openings, storerooms, disposal chutes. It says, most assuredly players will desire to open some of the boxes found in the storerooms to explore their contents. To determine the contents of each box, first roll a d6 on the box item number table below to find out the number of different types of items it holds. Next, roll a d100 on the random box contents table to determine each content type. So, cool, you have some like random boxes. You could even use that like in another place. It doesn't have to be in this module. So it looks like a lot of good stuff for the money. I mean, $7.99 on sale, normally $9.99. So check that out from Dungeoneers Guild Games. And if you like it, I mean, it's number 4, so they probably have some other ones down here that you can look at as well. And support these creators, guys. Use the links in the video description to help this channel as well. All right, Seidkona Saga, Wizards of the High Tower, a 5e adventure. And you can get a hardcover or a PDF plus the hardcover for like a sale price. And it's 5e. For generations, the Seidkona have used the power of Freya to watch over and guide the world. Now a great evil hunts them and will stop at nothing until the eradication of the Seidkona is complete. Svala, the young prodigy destined to become the Seidkona, is the last hope of resistance against the dominion of evil, and you, her guardian, are all that stands in defiance of the eradication of Seidkona. To master the ancient powers of Freya, she must reach the sacred shrine, but she cannot make it alone, for the journey is long and perilous. She looks to you to protect and prevent the world from plunging into darkness. Wizards of the High Tower, the first chapter of the Seidkona Saga trilogy, is for both solo and co-op adventurers without the requirement of a DM. This module takes you from level 2 to 8 and uses the 5e standard reference. So unfortunately there's no preview. I wish we could show you some sort of preview. Normally we don't even include video products that don't have that, so they're lucky they made it into the video. I must not have noticed that. Yeah, for creators out there, definitely want to include something, even if it's just in the down here if you have some pictures, because we normally won't include you if you don't. But still sounds like an interesting one, especially since you can play it solo or co-op. So check it out. It's from EBC Publishing. It's 105 pages, so that means there's a lot of stuff in there. But hopefully they can get a preview in here. Maybe by the time you guys are clicking on the links, they'll have one. So go ahead and check it out. Yeah, have fun. Okay, next we have a Wanderer's Guide to Alvanius. Explore new character options with classes, spells, feats, and more. So, more classes, which is awesome. Adam Henderson is the publisher, $12.99. It's for 5e, 82 pages. So, 15 new subclasses, including one for every class. Warden, a new martial class with a focus on battlefield control and support. Includes 3 subclasses. Very nice. We talked about that earlier. Very important to have those subclasses. 3 new backgrounds, 9 new feats, focused around new skill options, 29 new spells. All content is setting agnostic, but presented through the lens of the fantastic world of Elvinius. So that's cool. Let's look inside. Alright, cool background color. So that's the mini preview. Now let's look at the full one. So this is, it looks like it's showing us the new class, which is nice. So you got the Warden. Warden offers an option for martial characters. Okay, that's kind of what we read already. Consider what positions they hold in the world. Are they generals, commanders, guild leaders, and strategists of the world? Where do conduits come from? Are they made, born that way, or trained? How do protectors and commanders get trained, and by who? Wardens excel at shaping the world through others, so consider how this affects your setting. And here's their sort of level chart. It says, amongst the smoke and blood, a lone figure stands above the fallen, cloak torn and blood-soaked. He reaches down and pulls from the fray a wounded ally, wiping the blood from their eyes and sending back into battle. So, kind of a thematic intro. And then you've got creating the Warden and all the features of the class. The fighting style, the martial technique. So yeah, if you're looking for a new martial class, you know, this is a good option, and you're getting subclasses for the other ones too. So for $12.99, 82 pages, you're getting a good amount of stuff. So check that out from Adam Henderson, Drive-Thru RPG. Right, the League of Seekers Darkborn Edition Gothic Horror Role-Playing. So it's from Feral Gamers Inc. $9.99, 170 pages. So this might go well with the Gothic stuff with the Ravenloft. League of Seekers is a role-playing game that combines Lovecraftian terror with folklore to create an alternate 18th century Europe living under the fear of the Blood Curse, a plague that turns ordinary people into monsters. Events over the last 1,000 years have unlocked the spheres that hold the gates closed to cosmic horrors and dark gods, which in turn has led to cults and secret societies spreading across the known world. The League of Seekers RPG introduces you to a world of dark horror where players can make human or vampire characters trained to fight the darkness and horror that now inflicts Europe. So there's skills, features, magic systems covering summoning, ritual, arcane magic, madness, and the cycles of the moon. Covers London and Paris and their quarantine zones. So if you like that kind of quarantine style, like in Brotherhood of the Wolf or Bloodborne, you definitely would be interested in this, it seems like. So it looks like in the PDF sample you're getting kind of the player sheet. Definitely would like to see more, especially with the page count, 170 pages. So if you're watching Feral Gamers, maybe you can add some more, even if you just add them as images in here, because you've got 170 pages, so I'm guessing there's some good stuff in there. You can even maybe just make a selection of 5 pages, because you can start your preview from like page 10 and have it go to 15 or whatever, you know, so you can select kind of a safe area to share. I know it's risky, but maybe pick an area that isn't that big a deal if somebody just swipes it. But it sounds interesting. I mean, I love that 18th century period, and I'm sure there's stuff you can pull out of here for Ravenloft, since the domains have kind of a wide range of time periods. All right, next we have the Cryptocodex by Skeeter Green, and it's compatible with Dungeon Crawl Classics and the other crawl modern, I forget what it's called, modern, I don't know, Mutant Crawl Classics, something like that. Yeah, Mutant Crawl Classics, there we go. It's Cryptocodex is a dossier containing 50 new critters, both benign and malevolent, to enhance your apocalyptic aftermath role-playing game, designed to integrate easily into Dungeon Crawl Classics or Mutant Crawl Classics setting. Please feel free to use these in any post-apocalyptic campaign the way you see fit. And if they encourage you to create your own exotic beasts, perfect. And it says it's compatible with Swords and Wizardry, OSR, Classic Dungeons and Dragons, the first edition. And that cover is just really cool. I like that. I like that art a lot. It's very much in the style of DCC. So let's look inside here. So, it says, please enjoy the beasties and have some fun. Dual stats, why? In the setting where Crypt of the Science Wizard is located, it's a desolate desert environment bordered by dense jungle on one side and looming mountains to the other. Inside that framework are other environments as well, with mighty rivers, wide, fertile grasslands, and other more unique regions. All these environments provide a rich gathering ground for the most interesting aspects, the inhabitants, which brings us to the book. The contents are a small sampling of the inhabitants of the Rage, some helpful, some not, with much varied beings. They are suitable for both Dungeon Crawl Classic and Mutant Crawl Classics. So they decided to basically give you 2 sets of stats, one for Dungeon Crawl Classics and one for Mutant Crawl Classics, which is nice. I mean, they don't have to do that. But you can see all the different creatures here, the Bloomin', the Devils, the Drogs, the Saurians. So they've got a wide array, and then they've even got some races in here at the end. So yeah, I like that. Lots of stuff. It says the scaled hide of the entity is covered in sensory organs. 12 eyes or similar organs run down the creature's spine so that while lumbering on all fours, it can see in all directions at once. Nice. The predator's skin is sensitive to temperature and vibration, making it impossible to be surprised. It has an amazing sense of smell and tracks a wounded quarry flawlessly. So nice, good grammar in there. They're not a bunch of typos. 80 pages for $4.99. That's a lot of pages for $4.99. So check it out on DriveThruRPG. Next we have Garneth's Emporium's Ruins Raiders Basic Pack. So it's a pack of 5 double-sided paper minis scaled at 25 to 30 millimeters, ready to print, complete with 3 alternate colors, collectible cards, and VTT tokens. And it's got the Elf Druid, Gnome Bard, Half-Orc Monk, Human Barbarian, Tiefling Rogue. So you can find all this stuff. You can visit their site, I guess, to get more. But like you can see here, they got little bases for the guys. You can flip them over. And then you've got tokens for them, as well as these cards, which are nice. It's nice that they give you the versatility of like the little characters on the bases. But then also, if you'd rather just use a card or use a token, you can. And then they're showing it printed out here, which looks really nice. It's actually really great artwork. So looks great on in 3D here. So I would check that out. $2.50, and you get multiple file formats. And you can use it for Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, or any game where you might have these races of elves, gnomes, orcs, humans, tieflings, etc. So very beautiful art here. Well, that's the last title for this week, so please subscribe to the channel. We release one of these every Friday. We're also releasing in-depth previews of other books. Please click the links in the video description if you're interested in purchasing any of these. That helps the channel, or buy our book. Van Richten's Librum of Lineages is out. It's only $3.99, so it's out there for you to get and help support the channel. So we hope you'll do that. I'm sorry, $2.99. It's only $2.99. I don't know why I'm saying $3.99. Anyway, $2.99. And click those links and stay tuned. Come back next week. Share the video. Do what you can. We want to help get these creators out there. Help them make some money back on all their hard-earned work. And until next time, happy adventuring.